You see that car right over there? That's an oven. Okay, and now look to me, okay? I was abandoned, neglected, and abused by my family. You know, I look at that car again. Look at that car. Look at that red car. Hot, baking in the sun, okay? This isn't the first time people have gone out of their way to put me in a painful and stressful situation to encourage the most suffering so that they could provoke me into looking more unstable than I actually am. Let's look at that car again. See that car over there? Let's look back right over there. Now I see what you're thinking. You're going, man, this kid must be crazy. And you're right, I am mentally unwell. I'm supposed to be mentally unwell. It just wouldn't make any sense for someone to have to be forced into being stuck in a situation like this, and then only having people who've gone out of their way to triangulate and plan behind his back. It wouldn't make sense for someone like that to not be breaking apart mentally. Let's look at the car again. You see right over here? Right over there. Okay? So, I'm just gonna keep it up at the sky right now, because I'm not trying to be dramatic or here. I mean, this is a very dramatic video that I'm making considering the topic. So, I cannot lie and tell you that oh, this is just a nonchalant thing. No, I am having a very hard time right now. I'm quite furious, and honestly, I'm impotent. There's a lot of impotent anger. I mean, look at this. I'm hopeless. I'm absolutely hopeless right now. Absolutely hopeless. There's absolutely zero hope for me. Zero hope for me. If someone were to come up to me and decide to kidnap me and take me away to have all fun Epstein-Weil experiments that they wanted to, there'd be nothing stopping them, okay? And I know that. Well, no, there'd be something stopping them. It'd be me, my body, and my little machete in there. Because here's the deal. I truly expected this. I'm not blaming anyone, okay? I grew up mostly alone, distrustful of most anyone. So, as far as I'm concerned, these are just the natural consequences. Only reason why I'm posting this video and I'm talking to you right now is because I, for one, would at least like to be able to speak for myself when it comes to what's going on in my inner world. I haven't had really much of a chance to do that when people have been going around accusing me. And it's just been the story of my life so far, and I'm tired of it. I fought so hard to get this car under ownership for me, and I'm probably gonna end up having to lose it. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because I honestly don't intend to be ripping anyone off, and I've stayed in this car park for long enough if the city is upset with that. And I'd like to thank the city of Corona for tolerating me being in their car park for this long. It means a lot for me that you would allow me the space to lay my head somewhere I can at least attempt to feel safe. That's more than I can honestly admit I felt at all in my entire life. And I want to say I'm sorry for having to wait this long to admit that. I don't want anyone looking at this video or listening to me to think that the situation I'm in is your fault. One, there's no way you could have known any better. I'm not really someone who's vocal about what I'm going through. It's a quirk of mine. It's really hard to come out and actually say what it is that's on my mind or how I feel without fearing that maybe I've gone too far with the words I've chosen. I always wanted a Ford Expedition. And I'm glad I got to drive this one. And I like to thank God that He's consistently answered my prayers. And I'm not saying that because I want you to think that I'm special or I need any special treatment. I don't. In fact, I kind of want to make some things up to you. I feel like I'm obligated to. I don't think my father would like me to get away with everything that I've done. But I certainly don't want to be at the mercy of people who've never really allowed me to sit down with them and tell them, hey, look, I'm feeling scared. And I just like to be honest with how I feel. And I've never gotten the chance to say that. And I'm sorry if I'm coming out here today and I'm having you feel weird with this video. I don't want to make this and I don't know what to do. I was so afraid. I made sure to be extra sure it was going to be difficult to get me back into the system. I was born in and molded by it, and I'm afraid that they've been using the information they took from my foster care on you guys. It's been really weird having to watch my devices do weird things and not even be sure if I was seeing things because of all the frickin' nonsense going on around me and all the excuses people like to use as to why I'm so weird or I don't behave like anyone else or why I think I'm so special. I don't think I'm special. I don't even want to share my relationship with God with people half the time. It just comes out. The worst part about it is, y'all think that I was crazy if I was to share some of the stories. That's why I don't really share many of them. Like, I'll share the one when I was 11, I drowned and I met my great-grandma before I knew she was my great-grandma, but almost everyone has MBEs. No one's had their TV talk back to them. That was scary. I still don't believe that happened. But that was one heck of a Teletubbies episode. It was funny too, because like they were newscasters and stuff. And both my parents were away when it happened too. That's why I couldn't believe my eyes. I still don't believe the memory. I will say though, like my daily day-to-day is pretty weird. And when I do something, the world reacts like really quickly for some strange reason. But anyway, yeah, I'm just stuck. I've been feeling hounded for a while now, and it's been eating at me. I've been wanting to clear my head and kind of undo the conditioning I was raised under. It was getting in the way of me wanting to do the things that I wanted to do. Like, that's why I've been wanting to get into MMA and boxing and exercising, because these are things I couldn't do when I was younger, because I was always indoors all the time and I couldn't go out and play and do things with friends and stuff. And everyone was going around trying to show off how much better they were than me, despite the fact that all I want to do is just share awesome things and play cool games with you guys. I don't really care how cool I look. If I am cool, I guess I can be cool with you. I'm not really trying to sell anyone on anything. All I've really wanted is just a nice place to lay my head and rest, so I can be like fully rested and energetic and ready to meet the day. I like to work. It sucks that the way I was integrated into the workforce was very chaotic, and I was often confused. I've scared a lot of people. Heck, someone I know that I follow, I think I scared her when I started making videos and going online and sharing with people things about astrology. I'll be honest, the subject scares me because I used to have visions when I go to church and stuff, and the visions were very acute because I would feel the feeling of fear, and I was conditioned to think that astrology was evil despite it being mentioned in the Bible at least 3 times. At least 3 times. It's in Genesis, Job, it's in the Gospels of Jesus, it's in Daniel. I think references to it are made in Kings. And from my research, I learned that the Vatican has an astrology tradition. So I've just been studying. It's just, there's a lot about my life that's weird. And it scares me. I've gone to group therapy for 12 years for anger because people would always bully me, and I would always get angry and provoke back, and it would always backfire on me. And so I was always known as like the angry child, and people would just surround me trying to be like the flat, reasonable ones so that like they can just drain me. So I was always tired and depressed, and I wanted to kill myself, but I couldn't tell anyone because they would have just put me in another place where they could have just drained me even more. And I was always hungry, and I had brain fog. They fed me, like enough to say they were feeding me, but I wanted like greens and vegetables and protein. I loved eating all the actual good foods. And I'd always get angry because the people around me, they'd throw away the fresh foods that they didn't eat, and they'd be nice to each other, but they treat me like trash. And they were the same color as me, which is why I don't believe in racism. I don't even believe in classism. I think it's just a bunch of insecure bros and gals creating fraternities and sororities and then manipulating people to join their clubs so that they can go around and abuse everyone else around them and get away with it. That's what I really think is going on. It's also why I don't like Jeff Bezos, but you won't hear me saying all billionaires must die. Don't get me wrong, I don't think there should be a thing as a billionaire, but at the same time, there's never really been anything to cap that. So, usually when people accumulate this much stuff, we go to war and we kill each other. But you guys have gotten so good at using psychology against people, you can accurately be called black magicians because you're able to use techniques that are often locked behind job training or work courses or behind years and years of accreditation that you then sell to some of the worst people to go around and pretty much make us make decisions we don't like. I really don't appreciate the fact that you're always fooling people into buying things they didn't really want just by the layout of the store and the fact you made their jobs crummy. Like, how can you be so lazy, incompetent, and insecure that you literally have to reward people for making the game easier for your incompetent ass to win? And then you want to look at me with your mouth all open, agape like you're stupid, when everything's on fire and people are starting to separate themselves from you, doing everything they can to disobey and ignore your orders because you're pieces of trash that do nothing but make the lives of the people who you pay to serve you, and you don't even pay them well. Don't even get me started on the payment of well. You don't even know how to get people to even do the bare minimum. Your bunkers are probably shit. If they're not, then I'm disappointed in humanity. I think that humans would have at least the minimum amount of respect to be petty enough to, I don't know, be as clever as their bosses and making shortcuts so that the bosses think they got like grade A material when it's shit. Because that's what happens when you fuck with humans a little too hard and a bit too much. It's inevitable, you dipshits. Anyway, let's look at my car. It's fucking awesome. You see that? It's a 2000, it's like, I think it's like a 1998 Ford Expedition. I've always wanted to convert that into something. Maybe a home or an electric vehicle. Because I have these plans for this state, like California. I hate that people are so goddamn invested on turning it into a shithole when no one wants to live in a shithole, okay? Like, Haiti's a shithole. Sorry, Preach, it's a shithole. Let's be honest, Haiti's a shithole, okay? Like, yes, the French made it a shithole. Let's just call a spade and work forwards with that, okay? Okay? I'm part Haitian. Maybe I am. I haven't taken a DNA test, okay? So I'm not saying it to diss you. I'm just saying, like, let's be real here, okay? My home state is turning into a shithole. You know? It's a fucking shithole all around me, and I hate it, okay? Let's not be overly prideful, okay? You know, we can all, you know, take the piss, you know? We've all made mistakes. We've all dated people we decided to completely screw over, even with the collateral damage, okay? It happens. Life isn't perfect. Sometimes that gat is just way too freaking good for your own senses, and it's just way too freaking good for its own sake at dragging you through the mud that you just get desperate. Sometimes you just gotta let the world burn so you can be free. Hey, happens to everyone. I mean, look at our president. Hey, look at China's prime minister. His people hate him. They're just not allowed to tell him to his face because he's too much of a bitch like my mom. See how much of a relief it is when we can be real about what pains us, and we don't have to be disrespectful about it either. Like, far be it from me to say that any of these people are evil. I don't really want to trade in morals. I don't really think it's worth my time. Like, we all fear. Yes, we all fear. We all fear feeling. We all feel fear. And we all feel pleasant at times, you know? Human Experience 101. I sorghum, you sorghum, he, she sorghum, we all sorghum. With a little bit of lime juice, you know, for that nutrient absorption. Anyway, I just wanted to get that off my chest. I'm just going to leave it online as a record. If you liked what you heard, well, just like. You don't have to subscribe or anything. But do treat each other right and do the best you can to be the best you can, okay? And know that you're loved. Even if I am feeling like a bucket full of crabs today.